Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to SSBCrack Exams, and I am back today with a very new topic for your CDS 1 2022 examination, which is just on Sunday, right? So you must be feeling very, very nervous, but don't feel nervous because we are practicing so many questions. You can see around 1000 MCQs we are practicing. We are going to practice for your CDS 1 2022 English paper, and there is nothing to worry at all. So फटाफट से join हो जाओ guys, and I want to apologize here for yesterday because no class took place for English yesterday, and that's because I was not well. So that's why I had to cancel the class, which was very unfortunate. But that's not a problem at all, I guess, because I hope that all of you guys are practicing lots and lots of questions and all the topics, most important ones. And so we are here back now with the new topic and the most easy topic that I could find in the CDS English syllabus, and that is comprehension. ठीक है, काफी easy topic है ये. तो आप लोग को क्या करना है, लाइक करना है सेशन को और शेयर कर देना है जितना ज़्यादा हो सके. ओके, ऑल राइट. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच. Anirudh knows that I'll be asking this question. Thank you so much, guys. I hope I'm audible and visible as usual. Jai Hind, everyone. Good morning. Anish, Shaurya, Anirudh, Rashi, Neelam, Gagan, Kingshuk, Shri, Roshan. Okay, I'm feeling good, Shaurya. I'm feeling really well. So yeah, I'm back with the energy, with full of energy and josh. Okay guys, so let's start with today's class now. So before we start, especially for the newcomers, I'm going to tell you something about us, SSBCrack Exam, which is India's #1 portal for all defense aspirants. All of you are a serious defense aspirant, and if you are preparing for any defense exam other than CDS, you can also get yourself enrolled to the different courses that we have provided to you inside our SSBCrack Exams app, which you need to download from the Google Play Store. Inside these courses, you will find all the video lectures, PDF study notes, which you can also access through offline mode, and all the lectures and study notes as per the updated syllabus of the exam. You'll also get to practice lots of mock tests, and after submitting the answers of the mock test, you'll also get rank analysis, which is all India ranking in the form of smart analytic report. You also get to see different study plans. तो जो लोग CDS 2 2022 या फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर CDS एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपरेशन करना चाहते हैं, वो स्टडी प्लान्स को जरूर फॉलो कर ले. कोर्सेज के अंदर प्रोवाइडेड है, और सिर्फ CDS ही नहीं, बाकी सारे डिफेंस एग्जाम के रिलेटेड स्टडी प्लान्स भी कोर्सेज के अंदर प्रोवाइडेड है. लाइव क्लासेस ऑब्वियसली चल रही है जैसे आपको पता है, और अभी फ्रॉम थर्सडे वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट विद द महा मैराथन एज वेल. सो प्लीज गेट रेडी फॉर द महा मैराथन. आपका लास्ट रिविजन जो है वो कर लीजिए, प्रैक्टिस कर लीजिए, और महा मैराथन सेशंस में आ जाइएगा फ्रॉम थर्सडे ऑनवर्ड्स. ओके, तो ये रहा हमारे पास सारे बेस्ट सेलिंग कोर्सेज. ओके, जहां से आप चूज करके अपने आप को एनरोल कर सकते हैं. इसके अलावा भी बाकी कोर्सेज आपको ऐप में मिल जाएंगे. और है टेस्ट सीरीज. आई होप कि आप लोग मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज भी प्रैक्टिस करना स्टार्ट कर दिए हो. अगर आप मॉक टेस्ट नहीं प्रैक्टिस करना स्टार्ट किए तो हमारे पास सीडीएस और सीडीएस एग्जाम ओटीए के लिए अलग अलग से मॉक टेस्ट सीरीज अवेलेबल है, जिसको आप ले सकते हैं हमारे ऐप के थ्रू. और जब भी आप किसी कोर्स या टेस्ट सीरीज पे एनरोल हो रहे हैं तो ये कोड वॉरियर 10 जरूर यूज कीजिएगा, इससे आपको 10% का ऑफ मिलेगा. ओके, कुछ नहीं आकाश, आई वाज जस्ट फीलिंग a bit low because I hope every one of you witnessed I was coughing a lot. So I had a cold. I was suffering from cold, but I took my medicines and I'm fit now. Okay, तो चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं. आप लोग ज्वाइन करना भी स्टार्ट कर दीजिए, लाइक करो और शेयर भी कर दो अगर आपने अभी तक नहीं किया है तो. देखो, डायरेक्शंस कुछ ऐसे रहेंगे. यूजुअली सीडीएस में क्या होता है मैं आपको बता देती हूँ. इधर 2 शॉर्ट पैसेजेस देते हैं, ठीक है, 5-5 क्वेश्चंस रहता है, 2 शॉर्ट पैसेजेस, यानी कि 10 क्वेश्चंस का आंसर करना पड़ता है आपको, या फिर एक लॉन्ग पैसेज मिलता है जिसमें से ही 10 क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. ठीक है, तो ये दोनों में से कोई एक आपको देगा. अगर आपको कॉम्प्रीहेंशन से क्वेश्चन मिलेगा, जो कि मिलेगा ही कंपल्सरी, तो आपको क्या करना है, क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करना है. अगर 2 मिले तो 5-5 क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे हर एक पैसेज से. 10 क्वेश्चंस टोटल आपको आंसर करना पड़ेगा, या फिर एक लंबा पैसेज रहेगा, उसमें से 10 क्वेश्चंस आपको पूछे जाएंगे एंड यू हैव टू आंसर इट. एज सिंपल एज दैट. ओके, तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ 2 ही नहीं, हम लोग बहुत सारे पैसेजेस रीड करेंगे, उसके बाद सॉल्व भी करेंगे. कुछ में 5 रहेगा क्वेश्चन, कुछ में 10 रहेंगे. सो आई वांट यू पीपल टू गेट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर बोथ दीज काइंड्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दैट यू मे गेट इन योर CDS 1 2022 एग्जाम, राइट. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट पैसेज. और पहले मैं प्रीवियस ईयर्स क्वेश्चंस करवाऊंगी, उसके बाद जनरल प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस की ओर बढ़ूंगी, ठीक है। ये यूजुअल पैटर्न फॉलो करेंगे। तो पहले देखते हैं हमारे CDS 2 2021 में एक पैसेज आया था, ओके। तो हम लोग पढ़ेंगे पहले पैसेज को, ठीक है। CDS 2 2021 का पैसेज है। Let's start reading. More than 8 months after the national lockdown was announced in late March, urban India is learning to live with the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, indicating a positive outlook for the future, many survey respondents in a recent survey say they plan to return to pre-lockdown levels of shopping, personal grooming, going to cinemas, and socializing as pandemic fears continues to recede. The survey findings highlight that the suppression of consumer demand because of fears of job losses and salary cuts could be coming to an end. Increasingly, urban Indians are showing increased confidence about the future of the economy. This could be an indicator of the possible pent-up demand that several economists have been talking about, a demand that could be unleashed once a vaccine is developed and distributed, or when there are signs of the pandemic spread reducing to negligible levels or vanishing totally. Around 65% of respondents said they had settled into new routines, or that they saw signs of the situation improving, or they had come to terms with the pandemic and were moving on with their lives. And since the survey was conducted before the news of the successful trials of the Pfizer vaccine for the coronavirus was announced, it is likely that the consumers are now even more positive in their outlook about the future. तो obviously आप लोग बहुत अच्छे से रिलेट कर पा रहे हैं। पैसेज जो है वो कोविड-19 पैंडेमिक के बाद जो डिमांड्स, कंज्यूमर डिमांड्स के ऊपर पूरा पैसेज है, ओके। एंड आई होप दैट द पैसेज इज इजीली अंडरस्टैंडेबल बाय यू ऑल, है ना, ओके। चलो अब हम लोग स्टार्ट करेंगे, वन बाय वन क्वेश्चन देखेंगे, आंसर करेंगे। हर एक क्वेश्चन के लिए 20 सेकंड्स आपको मिलेगा। कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में इतना टाइम नहीं आप दे सकते क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली पैसेज पढ़ने में ही बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम लगता है। तो अगर आपको पैसेज एक बार पढ़ने के बाद समझ नहीं आ रहा है, प्लीज रीड इट ट्वाइस। इवन इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट ट्वाइस, रीड इट थ्राइस। आई एम गारंटिंग यू आफ्टर 3 times you will be able to understand what the passage is talking about. The next thing is that once the passage is understood, एक बार पैसेज आपको समझ में आ गया, क्वेश्चंस के आंसर फटाफट आप लोग कर पाओगे, ठीक है। सो दैट वोंट टेक मच ऑफ योर टाइम, हार्डली 10 to 15 seconds for each question it will take, okay. Another thing, no matter which part of the question the comprehension passage is, do not attempt it in the English paper. At the very end you attempt, ठीक है। यानी कि सपोज कि कॉम्प्रीहेंशन बिल्कुल क्वेश्चन पेपर के फर्स्ट पार्ट में है, ठीक है। तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि फर्स्ट आप कॉम्प्रीहेंशन का क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो, मत करना बिल्कुल भी, क्योंकि टाइम लगता है, पैसेज को समझना है, क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स अच्छे से देख के आंसर करना है आपको। तो हमेशा कॉम्प्रीहेंशन का जो पार्ट होगा वो आप पेपर के बिल्कुल लास्ट में करोगे। पहले जो इजी क्वेश्चंस है वो अटेम्प्ट कर लो, उसके बाद हार्ड क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करना और उसके बाद कॉम्प्रीहेंशन के पैसेज पढ़ के आंसर करना, ओके। सो दिस इज अ वेरी स्मॉल ट्रिक व्हिच आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू यूज इन योर एग्जाम्स एज वेल। प्लीज डू यूज इट इफ यू डोंट नो अबाउट इट, ओके, राइट। सो नाउ वी विल मूव ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन। स्क्रीन तो क्लीन ही है पीयूष, आई होप कि आपका नेटवर्क एरर हो रहा है, जस्ट चेक योर नेटवर्क वंस because I think the screen is visible clearly to everyone. Okay, so this is the first question. The general tone of the passage is that of, आपको क्या लगता है पैसेज पढ़ के कि पैसेज का टोन कैसा है? ऑप्टिमिज्म, पेसिमिज्म, फेटलिज्म और डिफीटिज्म? Okay, time's up. Answer is obviously optimism. Optimism मतलब पॉजिटिव, है ना। कहीं पे भी कोई नेगेटिविटी, कोई होपलेसनेस ऐसा कुछ आपको मिला पैसेज में? नहीं, पॉजिटिव आउटलुक लेके ऑथर ने ये पैसेज लिखा है, तो ऑप्टिमिज्म विल बी योर आंसर। पेसिमिज्म इज नेगेटिव, व्हेन यू आर ऑलवेज टॉकिंग अबाउट होपलेसनेस, डेथ, ओके, कुछ अच्छा नहीं होने वाला वगैरह वगैरह, तो वो हो गया पेसिमिज्म। फेटलिज्म क्या? ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन द फेट, सब अपने नसीब पे डिपेंड करता है, ओके। मेरा नसीब ही ऐसा था तो क्या किया जा सकता है। इफ यू लीव एवरीथिंग ऑन योर फेट or luck or destiny, you are being a fatalist, or what you are following is fatalism. Defeatism is all about getting defeated, पहले से ही आप हारे हुए हैं और इसलिए सब कुछ सारे situations आप accept कर रहे हो, because you are nothing, you have nothing to do, you can't do anything, you are helpless, okay. So that is defeatism. So here the answer will be option A, which is optimism. Okay. Next question from the passage. The willingness of consumers to go back to normal lifestyle indicates their consumers अपने पुराने lifestyle में, पुराने normal lifestyle में वापस जाना चाहते हैं. तो क्या indicate करती है? ये उनका casual attitude है, change of moods है, desire for future plans है, या sense of economic security है. Okay, so the willingness of consumers to go back to normal lifestyle indicates their sense of economic security. अगर आप पैसेज में वापस जाओ, यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे से लिखा है कि कंज्यूमर डिमांड का सप्रेशन इसीलिए हुआ था क्योंकि जॉब लॉस का फियर था और सैलरी कट्स था. लेकिन अर्बन इंडियंस ये दिखा रहे हैं कि आगे चल के फ्यूचर ऑफ द इकोनॉमी पे इंक्रीज कॉन्फिडेंस. ओके, so that is why your answer here will be option D, sense of economic security, because they have increased confidence in the future of the economy. Okay, Sachin, defeatism मतलब अगर आप defeated हो चुके, already you are accepting every situation because you think that you are defeated, you have nothing to do. Okay, you are helpless. Moving on to the third question, guys. Which statement in the passage or phrase indicates that life must go on? So life must go on is a very popular phrase that we use in our life. ठीक है, जो भी हो अपना जिंदगी जो है वो चलती रहनी चाहिए. तो ऐसा कौन सा फ्रेज या सेंटेंस है पैसेज में जो ये डिस्क्राइब करता है? They settled into their new routines. Salary cuts could be coming to an end. People are moving on with their lives. Pent up demand. बहुत ही easy question है ये. Okay, the answer will be option C. Very good, Neeraj. People are moving on with their lives. लोग अपनी जिंदगी को आगे लेके जा रहे हैं. So that is what indicates life must go on. Okay, so option C. Very good, Shaurya, Sachin. Yes, option C is your correct answer. Very good, Mangal, Piyush and Anish. Next question पे चलते हैं. What does the author mean by pent up demand? Pent up demand का क्या मतलब है? Desire suppressed to spend money once pandemic is controlled. Economic normalcy of consumers. Flamboyant shopping by consumers. Criticism of the public on the pay cuts. अगर आप पैसेज में वापस जाओगे, पेंट अप डिमांड के बारे में इधर लिखा है. This could be an indicator of the possible pent up demand, which is a demand that could be unleashed once a vaccine is developed and distributed, or when there are signs of the pandemic spread reducing to negligible levels or vanishing totally. तो क्या है ये pent up demand? Very good, everyone. Option A होगा आपका आंसर. Desire which was suppressed because there was pandemic, there was fear of job loss, there was salary cuts, but now that they can spend money once the pandemic is controlled. So that is what the answer is, option A. Next question and the last one. What, according to the author, is the reason behind suppression of consumer demands? Consumer demands suppress होने के पीछे कारण क्या था? मैंने अभी वो लाइन आपको पढ़वाया. So I hope that you know the answer. The lack of vaccine till date, professional insecurity, motive to save up some money, careful and calculative attitude of the general public. What is the answer, guys? Why there was consumer demand suppressed during pandemic? Because there was fear of job loss and salary cuts. In other ways, professional insecurity था, इसलिए consumer demand suppressed हो गया था. So option B, very good, Anirudh, Sachin, Shaurya, Piyush, Anish. Option B will be your correct answer. ठीक है, यहाँ पे अगेन मैंने आपको वो पार्ट आपको पढ़वा देती हूँ. देखो, the survey findings highlights that the suppression of consumer demand because of fears of job losses and salary cuts. बहुत क्लियरली यहाँ पे लिखा है. ठीक है, आंसर इज ऑप्शन बी. Clear everyone? Okay. Now we will move on to the next passage. ये आपका लिया हुआ है CDS 1 2021 से, और ये रहा पैसेज. हम लोग पढ़ेंगे. काफी इजी पैसेज है, थोड़ा लंबा है पर इजी है. ओके, सो लेट्स रीड टुगेदर गाइस. ओके, और अगर आपने अभी तक ज्वाइन नहीं किया है, हमने फर्स्ट पैसेज कंप्लीट कर लिया है, अभी सेकंड पैसेज पे है. तो अगर आपने फर्स्ट पैसेज का क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स नहीं कर पा रहे हो, डोंट वरी, नाउ इट्स टाइम फॉर यू टू आंसर द नेक्स्ट पैसेज. सो एवरीवन प्लीज जॉइन क्विकली, लाइक एंड शेयर द सेशन as much as you can. Okay, let's read. Noise is a common problem in both urban and rural areas. Traffic noise in particular. Trees and shrubs are not only visually attractive but also can make effective noise barriers. Therefore, when space permits, we have to plant more trees and shrubs in areas where there is noise problem. By doing this, noise can be reduced by 6 decibels over a distance of 30 meters. The only thing we have to keep in mind is that the planting should be particularly dense. The trees which have dense foliage and relatively vertical orientation of arrangements should be planted. It will completely screen the source of noise. If there is any gap in the barrier, it will still allow noise to penetrate. Single layer of trees is worthless as a noise barrier. Due to interreflection, multi-rows of trees are more effective. The planted trees must be taller. We can reduce noise level by 1.5 decibels with each additional 3 feet of tree height. When the opportunity to use trees is restricted, a combination of shrubs and tall grass can be used. Instead of tarmac or gravel surfaces, soft grass ground cover is preferable. It will absorb noise rather than reflect it. Rows of trees, shrubs, crotons, ground covering plants, climbers and their flowers not only reduce noise and provide a beautiful backyard, they also help block wind, provide shade and absorb traffic pollution. Okay, very easy. सबने environmental science पढ़ा होगा तो ये तो common topic है उसमें, है ना? तो चलो noise pollution को reduce करने के लिए, noise traffic noise को reduce करने के लिए how plantation of trees is important, उसके बारे में पूरे passage में discussion हुआ है. Let's start now with the first question. What distance a good number of trees can cover in reducing noise? 30 meters, 60 meters, 3 meters or 300 meters. Very easy. Okay, time's up guys. Answer will be option A. 30 meters है ना. यहाँ पे देखो passage में लिखा है, the first paragraph itself says, by doing this, noise can be reduced by 6 decibels over a distance of 30 meters. Okay, so therefore your answer will be option A, 30 meters है ना. Very good everyone. Moving on to the next question. Trees can reduce noise only when, सिर्फ तभी trees जो है वो noise reduce कर सकता है only when, कब? Planted in isolation, planted with flowering shrubs, they are planted dense, planted with shorter ones. Very easy question. It's written in the second paragraph. So answer is option C. Very good Maria. Absolutely. Option C is your correct answer when they are planted dense. So again, if you go back to the passage, first part of the passage, it's written that the planting, the only thing we have to keep in mind is that the planting should be particularly dense. Okay. So that will reduce the noise to a considerable extent. So therefore, option C will be your correct answer. Clear? Next question. Single layer of trees is worthless as a noise barrier. You can see this is put in quotes. That means it's a part of the sentence taken from the passage itself. Why? Why single layer of trees is worthless as a noise barrier? Noise can't penetrate easily, help in the growth of shrubs, noise is sent back to the source, or noise can penetrate easily. Single layer of trees noise barrier के हिसाब से worthless क्यों है? Very good again Maria. Yes, option D is your correct answer. Noise can penetrate easily. Easily noise जो है वो penetrate कर सकते हैं. So if you go back here, see on the third paragraph itself, single layer of trees is worthless as a noise barrier. Due to interreflection, multi rows of trees are more effective. And it is already written here. Noise can penetrate very easily if you are planting only single layer of trees. So therefore option D will be your correct answer. Very good Mangal, Mamta. Yes, Muskan also. Next question की ओर बढ़ते हैं. Higher the trees, जितना लंबा होगा पेड़ उतना क्या होगा? Higher the noise, lower the noise, greater the decibels, thinner the air. Okay, time's up. Answer will be very easy. Answer will be option B. Lower the noise. जितना लंबा होगा पेड़ उतना कम होगी आवाज. Again, if you go back to the passage, third paragraph, you can see the planted trees must be taller. We can reduce noise level by 1.5 decibels with each additional 3 feet of tree height. जितना होगा ट्री हाइट 3 फीट अगर ज्यादा अपने पेड़ मतलब ऐसा पेड़ लगाया जो 3 फीट ज्यादा ऊंचा हो उससे क्या होगा नॉइस लेवल 1.5 डेसिबल्स कम होगा. सो देयरफॉर दिस प्रूव्स दैट हायर द ट्रीज लोअर द noise. Right? Option B is your correct answer. Next and the last question from this passage. How do shrubs and tall grass reduce noise? Shrubs or tall grass noise कैसे reduce करते हैं? They absorb noise, they reflect noise, they divert noise, they are neutral to noise. Okay, time's up guys. Answer will be again very easy question. Option A. They absorb noise. Noise जो है वो absorb कर लेते हैं shrubs और tall grasses. तो अगर आप फिर से वापस जाओगे passage में last paragraph already talks about it. Instead of, when the opportunity to use trees is restricted, a combination of shrubs and tall grass can be used. Instead of tarmac or gravel surfaces, soft grass ground cover is preferable. It will absorb noise rather than reflect it. Reflect करने के बजाय ये क्या करेंगे? Absorb कर लेंगे noise. Therefore, option A is your correct answer. Clear? Reflect नहीं करेंगे मंगल अथर्वा absorb करेंगे. वहां पे लिखा है clearly they will absorb noise rather than reflected. यानी reflect करने के वजह वो क्या करेंगे? Absorb कर लेंगे. ठीक है? Reflect करने के बदले absorb करेंगे. Right? So option A will be your correct answer. Now moving on to the next passage. Next is also previous year question passage. तो आप लोग फटाफट से ज्वाइन हो जाओ अगर नहीं ज्वाइन किए हो तो क्योंकि अभी नेक्स्ट पैसेज भी आने वाली है. ओके बट बिफोर दैट लेट मी ऑल्सो शो यू आर सीडीएस एग्जाम ऑनलाइन कोर्स 2022 दैट वी हैव प्रोवाइडेड इनसाइड आवर ऐप. तो अगर आप सीडीएस 2022 एग्जाम के लिए तैयारी करना चाहते हैं या फिर नेक्स्ट सीडीएस एग्जाम के लिए भी तैयारी करना चाहते हैं तो हमारे इस पर्टिकुलर कोर्स को आप एनरोल कर सकते हैं और अपनी सीडीएस एग्जाम की प्रेपरेशन अभी से स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. इस कोर्स के अंदर आपको सीडीएस एग्जाम के रिलेटेड सारे सब्जेक्ट्स के वीडियो लेक्चर्स, पीडीएफ स्टडी मटेरियल्स, क्विजेस, सैम्पल प्रैक्टिस क्यूएनए, प्रीवियस ईयर्स क्यूएनए और प्रैक्टिस सेट्स मिलेंगे जो आपको प्रेपरेशन में बहुत हेल्प करेगा. Now moving on to the next passage. So this is also a previous year question passage. So let's start reading it. Okay. Post-colonial cultural analysis has been concerned with the elaboration of theoretical structures that contest the previous dominant Western ways of seeing things. मैं यहाँ पे थोड़ा explain कर देती हूँ इसका first line. Post-colonial cultural analysis. एक post-colonial study आती है जो कि उन सब कॉलोनीज के बारे में आपको बताते हैं जो पहले ब्रिटिश एम्पायर के अंडर में था. ठीक है, जब ब्रिटिश एम्पायर से उन लोगों को इंडिपेंडेंस मिल गया दे आर नो लॉन्गर कॉलोनीज. बट जब वो ब्रिटिश एम्पायर के अंडर में थे वो सारे राज्य दे यूज्ड टू फॉलो द वेस्टर्न वेज ओके ऑफ सीइंग थिंग्स, सम वेस्टर्न परसेप्शंस. बट वंस दे बिकेम इंडिपेंडेंट they started to contest, they started to go against these previous dominant Western ways of things. So that is what the post-colonial cultural analysis is all about. Okay, I hope it's understood. A simple analogy would be with feminism, which has involved a comparable kind of project. So here they are giving you an example of feminism, how the perception of feminism has changed. Okay, there was a time when any book you might read, any speech you might hear, any film that you saw was always told from the point of view of men. The woman was there, but she was always an object, never a subject. Okay? From what you would read or the films you would see, the woman was always the one who was looked at. She was never the observing eye. इसका मतलब एक पुरुष के आंखों से वो सारी किताबें या फिल्म जो है वो बनाई गई थी. कभी भी एक औरत की आंखों से वो नहीं बनाया गया था, है ना. सो शी वॉज ऑलवेज ऑब्जर्व्ड एट, शी वॉज ऑलवेज लुक्ड एट, शी वॉज नेवर द ऑब्जर्विंग आई. फॉर सेंचुरीज इट वॉज अज्यूम्ड दैट वुमेन वर लेस इंटेलिजेंट दैन मेन एंड दे डिड नॉट मेरिट द सेम डिग्री ऑफ एजुकेशन. इसके लिए उनको एजुकेशन भी उतना नहीं मिलता था जितना पुरुष को मिलता था. दे वर नॉट अलाउड अ वोट इन द पोलिटिकल सिस्टम. By the same token, any kind of knowledge developed by women was regarded as non-serious, trivial, which means unimportant, gossip, or alternatively as knowledge that had been discredited by science, such as superstition or traditional practices of childbirth or healing. Now, all these attitudes were part of a larger system in which women were dominated, exploited, and physically abused by men. Slowly but increasingly, from the end of 18th century, feminists began to contest this situation. The more they contested it, the more it became increasingly obvious that these attitudes extended into the whole of the culture: social relations, politics, law, medicine, arts, popular and academic knowledge. Okay, I hope that the passage is understood by all of you. मैंने थोड़ा सा intro आपको दे दिया था passage के बारे में. So this is a passage which came in CDS 2 2020, you can see, right? Okay, so now we will move on with the questions one by one. Okay, so be ready. So this is the first question. Post-colonialism is. Now one thing I want to make clear, guys, जब भी आप comprehension के questions करोगे, do not use your own knowledge, your own opinion और आपकी information answer के हिसाब से. You have to go into the passage and try to find the answer from the passage. You need not use your own knowledge or your own opinion while choosing the answer. ठीक है, तो जैसे यहाँ पे question है post-colonialism is. No matter how much you know about it, you have to choose the answer about the post-colonialism which is given in the passage itself. Okay. So according to it, what is post-colonialism? A contestation of the then existing dominant Western practices, a contestation of Western practices in colonial states, a contestation of the superstitious practices, and approval of indigenous practices. Very good. This shows that you guys have understood what I was trying to say. Absolutely. Post-colonialism, according to this passage, is a contestation of the then existing dominant Western practices. ठीक है, यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं फर्स्ट सेंटेंस में ही लिखा है पोस्ट colonial cultural analysis has been concerned with the elaboration of theoretical structures that contest the previous dominant Western ways of seeing things. Okay, so this is what is written in the passage, and that is your answer, which is option A. Very good. Moving on to the second sentence. Second question. What does "she was always an object, never a subject" mean? Women were given respect and worship. Women were not given any right equal to men. Women were treated at par with men. At par means parallelly, equally. Women liked to be treated inferior to men. What will be the answer, guys? Okay, answer is option B. She was always an object, never a subject. That means that women were not given any right equal to men. She was always looked down upon as a being who is inferior and less intelligent than men. है ना? So that is why she was an object always and never a subject. So option B is your correct answer. Very good. Moving on to the third question. Why was she never the observing eye? कभी उनके नजरिया से क्यों कुछ नहीं देखा जाता था? Why was she never the observing eye? She was beautiful, so she was observed by men. She liked to be observed by men. Women were assumed to be less intelligent than men. Women were assumed to be more intelligent than men. Very easy. Now, if you read the entire passage and have understood, you will know that she was never the observing eye because she was considered to be less intelligent than men. So, option C will be your correct answer. है ना? क्योंकि that is why her observation was not taken into consideration because it was thought that she is less intelligent than men, right? So option C will be your correct answer. Okay? नहीं मुस्कान, ये नहीं होगा. ये कैसे हो सकता है? Nowhere in the passage it's said that she was beautiful and so she is observed by men. No, she was never observed by men in that way because she was not considered to be intelligent like men. That is why she was not the observing eye. Okay. Moving on to the next question. The contestation to dominance of the male resulted in. तो यहाँ पे मैं आपको बता देती हूँ कि पैसेज के लास्ट में यहाँ पे आया था ना कि feminists began to contest the situation during the end of 18th century. So what these feminists do is that they started going against the male domination. So this is what the question is all about. The contestation to dominance of the male resulted in, what was the result when the feminist went against the male domination? Participation of women in social relations, politics, law, medicine, arts, popular and academic knowledge. Participation of men in social relations, politics, law, medicine, arts, popular and academic knowledge. Participation of women in social movements, contestations with males in life leading to divorce. What happened when the male dominance was contested? Very good, Sachin. Absolutely. Vladimir, Shaurya, absolutely. So, women started participating in other parts of social life as well, like social relations, politics, law, medicine, arts, popular and academic knowledge. So, option A will be your answer. If you go back to the last sentence also, it is said that the more they contested it, they means the feminists, the more it became increasingly obvious that these attitudes, that means these contesting attitudes, this going against male domination attitudes, extended into the whole of the culture, including social relations, politics, law, medicine, arts, popular and academic knowledge. Right? So, very good, guys. So, therefore, your answer is option A. Very good. Moving on to the next and the last question. Which word in the passage is opposite of contrast? Contrast का opposite क्या है? Contestations, trivial, discredited, analogy. ये तो एंटोनिम सिनोनिम वाला क्वेश्चन है, तो याद रखिए कि कभी कभी कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में एंटोनिम सिनोनिम वाला क्वेश्चन भी दे देते. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस वर्ड और व्हाट इज द ऑपोजिट ऑफ दैट वर्ड. समटाइम्स दे कैन गिव यू क्वेश्चंस लाइक दिस एज वेल. ओके ओके. सो कॉन्ट्रास्ट का क्या मतलब है? ऑपोजिट, समथिंग व्हिच इज नॉट मैचिंग. उसका ऑपोजिट क्या होगा? समथिंग दैट इज मैचिंग. इन अदर वर्ड्स सिमिलैरिटी. एंड व्हाट इज द वर्ड फॉर दैट? ऑप्शन डी, एनालॉजी. है ना? तो एनालॉजी का मतलब क्या है? सिमिलैरिटी. कॉन्ट्रास्ट क्या है? डिसिमिलैरिटी, डिफरेंस. दिस इज इट. ऑप्शन डी. ए नहीं होगा. कॉन्टेस्टेशंस इज व्हाट? स्ट्रगल. ठीक है, ये तो नहीं होगा बिल्कुल भी. ट्रिवियल वर्ड, ट्रिवियल मीन्स अनइम्पोर्टेंट, ये भी नहीं होगा. डिस्क्रेडिटेड, वन हु इज नॉट गिवन द क्रेडिट. ओके, वन हु इज बीइंग फ्रॉम हुज द क्रेडिट इज बीइंग टेकन ऑफ. So discredited, that means criticized, maybe not praised, criticized. So this is not the answer. Option D is your answer. Okay, clear? Okay guys, now we will move on to the next question, also previous year question. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट पैसेज की ओर मूव करते हैं. फटाफट से ज्वाइन हो जाओ. अगर आपने नहीं ज्वाइन किया लाइक और शेयर भी कर देना अगर नहीं किया है सेशन को, तो क्योंकि बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस हम यहाँ पे डिस्कस करने वाले हैं और क्लियर कर भी चुके हैं. सो नेक्स्ट पैसेज इज दिस वन. And now we're going to start reading the passage. This is also previous year passage. So let's start. Not all agricultural societies become civilizations, but no civilization can become one without passing through the stage of agriculture. मैं ये first sentence आपको थोड़ा describe कर देती हूँ तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. हर एक agricultural society civilizations नहीं बनते हैं, लेकिन एक civilization एक agricultural society से ही बनता है. Clear? This is because, why this happens? This is because at some stage in the development of agriculture, as productivity improves, not all people would need to be engaged in producing or procuring food. A significant number of people could be freed up to pursue other activities, such as building walls or monuments for new cities, making new tools, weapons and jewelry, organizing long-distance trade, creating new artistic masterpieces, coming up with new inventions, keeping accounts, and perhaps constructing new public infrastructure, such as irrigation canals, that further improve the productivity of agriculture, thus realizing even more people to do new things. This can happen, of course, only if a society that has transitioned to high productivity agriculture has also at some stage in its evolution found a way to channel the bonanza of free time into other work fruitfully. In the ancient world, this often involved creating new ideologies and new hierarchies or power structures to coerce, that means to force, or otherwise convince large groups of people to devote their time to the new tasks for very little reward. So this is a passage which has been taken from CDS 1 2020. Okay, so it's talking about how agricultural society can become a civilization where some people who have already helped in productivity of agriculture is now concentrating on other kinds of work for development. Okay. Yes, Arpit, there will be sessions on parts of speech. Okay. Right. So let's now start with the questions one by one. Okay. I hope that is understood by all of you. Okay. So this is the first question. Which one of the following statements is true according to the author? तो आपको यहाँ पे true और false वाला statement मिल रहा है, तो आपको denote करना है कि कौन सा statement true है. Agriculture has always been part of all civilizations. Not all civilizations have undergone the processes of agriculture. Agriculture gave birth to new civilizations. Communities discontinued agriculture to become civilizations. Which statement do you think is true as per the passage? See, if you look at, very good everyone. So if you look at B, not all civilizations have undergone the process of agriculture. This is false. Why? Because at the base of every civilization there is agriculture. Okay, no civilization has become a civilization without agriculture. Agriculture gave birth to new civilization. This is also false because it is very clearly written in the passage that not all agricultural societies have become civilizations. Right? Communities discontinued agriculture to become civilization. ये भी false है क्योंकि कहीं पे भी ये बात नहीं लिखा है. The only true one is option A. Agriculture has always been part of all civilizations. जहाँ पे civilization आपको दिख रहा है वहाँ पे agriculture किसी ना किसी point पे जरूर था. So agriculture is the base of all civilizations. So therefore option A will be your correct answer. Very good, Mangal. Okay. Moving on to the next question. A significant number of people were sent to carry out other work from agriculture because there were insufficient agricultural products. People were needed to build monuments, weapons, jewelry, etc. There were sufficient agricultural products. This enabled the development of civilization. Why a large number of people were sent to do other works than agriculture? Okay, the answer is option B. People were really needed to do other works like building monuments because only agriculture is not enough. When they have achieved a certain amount of productivity, then they need to shift to other works also because that will also help to develop the civilization. So people were needed at that moment to help in other kinds of work. That is why they were sent from agriculture to other work. Okay, so option B will be your correct answer. Clear? Next question. What kind of agriculture-based societies would emerge as civilizations? किस तरह का agriculture-based society civilizations होते हैं? देखो यहाँ पे अगर आप passage में वापस जाओ, यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे से लिखा है कि this is because at some stage in the development of agriculture as productivity improves, not all people would need to be engaged in producing or procuring food. Okay, so they started to coming up, and then here of course it is written that only if a society that has transitioned to high productivity agriculture has also at some stage in its evolution found a way to channel the bonanza of free time into other work fruitfully. So what kind of agricultural society will become a civilization here then? Societies which achieved high productivity in agriculture had the opportunity to find time for other work. Societies which depended on agriculture completely moved to other fruitful work so as to move to many places. Societies which transitioned from one stage of agriculture to another, or societies which could not do agriculture for lack of resources moved to other work. Very good. Yes, option A will be your correct answer. Just as I showed you, it was written that societies which had achieved the high productivity in agriculture had the free time to move to other work, okay, and could do the work fruitfully. So that is what your answer is, option. Clear? Okay. Moving on to the next question. People as groups were convinced to do new work through reward force and community persuasions, ideologies, hierarchies and power structures, excessive agricultural products or very high rewards. यहाँ पे अगर आप जाओगे वापस, people as groups were convinced to do new work through, and you can go to the last sentence of the passage. In the ancient world, this often involved creating new ideologies and new hierarchies or power structures to coerce or otherwise convince large groups of people to devote their time to the new tasks for very little reward. So what is your answer then? Very good. It is option B. Ideologies, hierarchies and power structures started forcing or convincing these large groups of people to do new work. But they were given very little reward. They were given very little amount of wages. So option A therefore is not applicable here. Option D not applicable here. And option C is nowhere mentioned in the passage. Right? Moving on to the next and the last question. Which word in the passage means changeover? Which word in the passage means changeover? So now here you have to give the synonym of changeover. Okay, and that also a word which has been mentioned in the passage. So what is that word which means changeover? Transition, channel, coerce, hierarchies. Very easy. Changeover means what? Change, परिवर्तन. तो कौन सा word है वो? Transition है, channel है, coerce है, या hierarchy है? Come on guys, quickly. Absolutely guys, it is option A, transition, which means a transformation or change. So this is what changeover means. Channel means to direct, coerce means to force, and hierarchies is the order. Okay, so therefore option A is your answer. Very good, everyone has given right answers. So happy to see that. Guys, very quickly now we are going to the general practice questions. ठीक है, उससे पहले मैं नेक्स्ट प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन की तो बढ़ूँ, मैं आपको दिखा देना चाहती हूँ हमारे पास एसएसबी इंटरव्यू का ऑनलाइन कोर्स अवेलेबल है और ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कोर्स है क्योंकि आपके रिटन एग्जाम के बाद एसएसबी के लिए भी प्रिपरेशन आपको करना पड़ेगा, which is the next step to achieve your goals, and for that we have the course for it. You can get yourself enrolled into this course and start preparing for your SSB interview, where all the testing procedures of the SSB have been covered in full-fledged lectures, PDF study materials and practice sets. Not only that, you can also be a part of our SSB interview live classes, which take place on a regular basis and in monthly batches as well. Okay. So time for the next passage. Everyone, please join quickly and like and share the session. So this is the next passage. A jolly musicologist by the entirely unobjectionable name of Henry Pleasance has written a book called The Agony of Modern Music. Agony means the pain. That word agony is right. Okay, now why you can ask why modern music is a pain? It's a pain. Why? Much of it is just not written down but improvised. Much of what passes for music of these times is raucous noise, and the excuse for persisting with it is that every common youngster understands and likes it. Okay, the pleasant fellow concedes that serious music is virtually dead. This may be dismissed as yet another pleasantry which the undirected young indulge in. Paul Hindemith, possibly one of the last of the classical giants, once said that some composers tended to develop an over-sublimated technique which produces images of emotions that are far removed from any emotional experience a relatively normal human being ever has. That is just the point. High art can never be totally democratized. There is a barrier between the egghead and the hoi polloi. Egghead means intellectual, hoi polloi is common people, laymen, okay? And it would be lazy idealism to ignore this. When Bach played and Beethoven wrote, who was then the gentleman? The pity of it is that while talking music to the masses, all known rules are broken and improvisation becomes king. That, roughly speaking, is how jazz was born, by dropping discipline, inspiration, deep personal emotions, and every element of creative art, and adopting improvisation as its main rationale. Why, they even tried to smuggle bits of jazz into serious music, so that the composer could somehow survive. Now they are going one step further. Learn it by ear, don't write down the stuff, make it up as you go along, and hope by these shoddy techniques that everyone present with applaud, and thus provide the composer and the performers with their daily bread. So here the author is talking about the agony of modern music, the pain, how modern music is not about music, it's about what the people want and to go along with the public flow. And for that, different techniques have come up. Nowadays, they are not writing down the lyrics. They're just making the things up because this is how the young people want the songs to be nowadays. And by these, the music composers and the performers are earning their daily livelihood. They are not following the paths of original music. They're improvising it to follow the will of the masses. So this is what the passage is all about. Okay. Now, first question pe chalte hain. The author uses the word improvisation to suggest why the word, what is the meaning of the word improvisation that the author used in the passage? Making the original more sublime, tampering with the original, rendering the original more popular, or simplifying the original. So the answer will be option B, tampering with the original song को अगर आप तोड़ के छोटा छोटा पीसेस करके उसको फिर से किसी और चीज के साथ मिक्स मैच करके दे रहे हो, दैट इज व्हाट इम्प्रोवाइजेशन एक्चुअली मेंट बाय व्हाट द ऑथर सेड. म्यूजिक, ओरिजिनल म्यूजिक नहीं दे सकते क्योंकि यंग पीपल विल नेवर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. The common people will not able to get the essence of music. So for them, the improvisation needs to be done, which is basically tampering with the original music. Okay, so option B will be your answer. Very good, Vladimir Rohit. Next question, एक थोड़ा सा एडवांस किस्म के पैसेज है, so it's fine if you're not able to answer so much. The next question is this: according to the author, high art cannot be democratized because हाई आर्ट को डेमोक्रेटाइज्ड यानी कि लोगों को सब कुछ समझ में आएगा अबाउट हाई आर्ट, या हम लोग होप नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज देयर आर लेमेन, ओके, हु डू नॉट हैव एनी आइडिया अबाउट व्हाट आर्ट इज, एंड सो जस्ट forget about high art. So that is why they are saying high art cannot be democratized. So why is it that? Because high art is over sublimated. High art talks about that kind of emotion that common men do not have that can relate to. People differ in their emotional experience. Masses cannot be expected to appreciate what only the few intelligent can. Democratizing necessarily involves improvisation. What is the answer, guys? देखो हाई आर्ट सबके लिए नहीं होता है. The only reason behind is that the common people cannot be expected to appreciate what only few intelligent people can, है ना? So that is the difference between the egghead and the hoi polloi. Very good, everyone. Option C will be your correct answer. Absolutely. Moving on to the next question. They tried to introduce bits of jazz in serious music so that क्यों उन्होंने जैज का कुछ पार्ट सीरियस म्यूजिक में इनकॉर्पोरेट किए? Music might survive. Masses could take to serious music. The new composers might survive, or the music is democratized. If you go back to the passage, this is the part where it's written that they even tried to smuggle bits of jazz into serious music so that the composer could somehow survive. क्योंकि serious music समझने वाले लोग नहीं है ना? So therefore, what will be the answer? Option C. The new composers might survive. It is written directly in the passage itself. So C will be your answer. Okay, guys. Next question की ओर बढ़ते हैं. Which of the following words can best replace the word raucous in the paragraph? So if you go back to the passage here, there is this word called raucous. See, much of what passes for music of these times is raucous noise, right? तो आजकल के म्यूजिक जो है वो रॉकस नॉइज की तरह है. तो देयरफॉर व्हाट विल बी द नेक्स्ट द वर्ड व्हिच कैन रिप्लेस द वर्ड रॉकस? दैट मींस सिंपली यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट द सिमिलर इन मीनिंग वाला वर्ड, सिनोनिम ऑफ रॉकस. वर्ड्स आर शिल, सूदिंग, प्लेजेंट, पॉपुलर. यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट सिनोनिम ऑफ रॉकस. नाउ व्हाट काइंड ऑफ इट? रॉकस नॉइज. तो अच्छा तो नहीं होगा ना बिल्कुल, प्लेजेंट तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं होगा, सूदिंग भी नहीं होगा, पॉपुलर भी नहीं होगा. तो क्या है? शिल. Shrill is something that is very, very, very loud. It's like a noise. Okay, so loud. So option A will be your correct answer. Very good, everyone. Moving on to the next and the last question. Speaking of the techniques of some composers, Paul Hindemith said that they evoked images of emotions not experienced by normal people, felt only by subnormal people, never felt by masses, not experienced by eggheads. तो अगर हम लोग वापस चलते हैं पैसेज की ओर, पॉल हाइंसमिथ का एक बार पढ़ लेते. उन्होंने क्या बोला देखो. Paul Hindemith, possibly one of the last of classical giants, once said that some composers tended to develop an over-sublimated technique. What is this technique? Which produces images of emotions that are far removed from any emotional experience a relatively normal human being ever has. इसका मतलब एक normal human being वो सारे emotions को feel नहीं कर सकते जो ये over sublimated टेक्निक में ये कुछ composers प्रोजेक्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं. तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा फिर? Paul Hindemith said that they evoked images of emotions which are not experienced by normal people, जो normal human beings experience नहीं किए हैं. वैसे कुछ emotions के बारे में ये composers बात करते हैं जो normal people experience नहीं कर सकते. That is what the over sublimated technique that he was talking, right? So option A will be your correct answer. Clear, everyone? Okay. So we have just one passage left. Do you want to take up one passage, or do you want to have a homework one? Okay, what we will do, guys, we will go to the next passage. We'll read it very quickly. We'll solve 5 questions. Okay, and then I will give you a passage for your homework. Right? Very quickly we're going to solve. So this is the next passage. Let's start reading it. We all know that Eskimos have 50 different words for snow. Or is it 500? Anyway, an awful lot. It is one of those interesting little facts that says something about the amazing ingenuity of humans. Ingenuity means creativity. Whereas we see snow, the Eskimos perceive an endlessly varying realm of white textures and possibilities. Except that is not true. Talk to the average Eskimo and you will find he has about the same number of words for snow as we do. I discovered this when I took a sledge dog team through the Russian Arctic and asked the locals. And it gets worse. The Eskimo Inuit do not live in igloos. They do not even rub their noses together. Hearing this, I began wondering what other myths surround the world's far-flung places. Shelters made out of snow are indeed constructed and fashioned from snowy bricks, just as we like to imagine. Except the Eskimo Inuit rarely lived in them for long periods, and disappointingly, the elders that I met had never heard of them. In truth, these are coastal people who traditionally foraged for driftwood, whalebones, stones, and turf to construct their camps, saving snow houses for hunting excursions or migrations. Chameleons also attract numerous myths. While many of them change color, this is often less to do with camouflage and more to do with their mood and temperature. A chameleon might, if too cold, turn a darker shade to absorb more heat, or it might turn a lighter color to reflect the sun and so cool down. Moreover, chameleons often change color as a signaling device. Some, such as the panther chameleon, transform into a vivid orange to scare off predators, while others flash bright colors to attract a mate. The brighter the color a mate is able to display, the more dominant. Thus, the act of standing out can be more important than that of blending in. So, it's a very easy one. It's talking about how we have this wrong conceptions about, the Eskimos having different words, 500 or 50 words for snow, living in igloos. Okay. Also, we have this very unusual myth of chameleons changing colors because they want to get blend in with their surroundings. Okay, so this is how the passage talks about that these are not true. So now we will take up one question. So this is the first question. The author was surprised by the fact that Eskimos have 500 words for snow, the ingenuity of humans, the Eskimo Inuit do not live in igloos, the Eskimo Inuit rub their noses together. Why was the author surprised? Quickly guys. Okay, answer is option C. The Eskimo Inuit do not live in igloos. तो आप अगर आप यहाँ पे वापस जाते हो यहाँ पे लिखा है already that it even gets worse. The Eskimo Inuit do not live in igloos. They do not even rub their noses together. Okay, so that is what surprised the author. So therefore the answer is option C. Okay, clear guys? Right. हाँ ये पे है ना Eskimos have 500 words for snow. ये हम लोग believe करते हैं, myth है. तो इससे ऑथर ने सरप्राइज नहीं हुआ क्योंकि वो तो मानते थे हम लोग के जैसे, ठीक है, और उनको भी लगता था कि एस्किमो इनुइट अपने नोजेस रब करते हैं, वो भी उनको मालूम था. लेकिन जब वो एक्चुअल वहां पे लोगों को पूछे, दे टोल्ड द ऑथर दैट नो, दे डू नॉट यूज्ड टू लिव इन इग्लूज, दे यूज्ड इग्लूज ओनली फॉर हंटिंग एंड माइग्रेशन. सो दैट इज व्हाट सरप्राइज द ऑथर. ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाई ऑप्शन सी इज योर आंसर. Next question. The author discovered that igloos are not fashioned from snowy bricks. Only the Eskimo Inuit elders live in igloos. Snow houses are reserved for hunting migrations. The coastal people foraged for firewood. What did the author discover? So if you go back to the passage here, it has already been said that shelters made out of snow are indeed constructed. Construct होते हैं, igloos भी बनते हैं snow bricks से, लेकिन Eskimo Inuit उनमें बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम तक नहीं रहते हैं, ठीक है, और एल्डर्स ने कभी इग्लूज के बारे में सुना ही नहीं है. एक्चुअली दे आर कोस्टल पीपल, ठीक है, और वो स्नो हाउसेस में तभी रहते हैं जब वो हंटिंग या माइग्रेशन के लिए जाते हैं, ठीक है. So that is why your answer here will be option C. Snow houses are reserved for hunting migrations, right? Option C is your answer. Very good, girls. Next question. The changing color of the chameleon is more to do with camouflage, mood and temperature, transformation, protection. Chameleon अपनी कलर्स क्यों चेंज करते हैं? For camouflage, mood and temperature, transformation or protection. Again, if you go back to the passage here, it is very clearly written that chameleons, many of them change color. This is often less to do with camouflage and more to do with their mood and temperature. Camouflage के लिए कम और mood and temperature के लिए ज़्यादा अपने colors change करते हैं, है ना? So your answer will be option B, mood and temperature. Okay, mood and temperature. Next question. A chameleon warms itself by, एक chameleon अपने आप को गर्म कैसे करते हैं? Residing in bright areas, turning a darker color to absorb more heat, matching its color with the environment, or adjusting its body temperature with that of the environment. So how do chameleons warm itself? So if you go back to the passage again, it's written here that a chameleon might, if too cold, अगर उनको ठंडा लगे तो गर्म करने के लिए they turn a darker shade to absorb more heat. Very clearly it's written. So it's a very straightforward passage. आप direct passage से ही answers ढूंढ सकते हैं. तो इनका आंसर क्या होगा? ऑप्शन बी, turning a darker color to absorb more heat. Okay. Next question, last one. A male chameleon is believed to be more dominant if, एक male chameleon ज़्यादा dominant believe किया जाता है अगर he has the colors of the panther, he exhibits vivid orange color, if he can blend in with the others, or if he displays fast flashing bright colors. How do a male chameleon stands out to be a dominant? If you go back to the passage here, it's written, the brighter the color a mate is able to display, the more dominant. That means it flashes various displays of bright colors. So therefore option D will be your correct answer. है ना? Easy one. Okay guys. So that was it for today's session. I'll give you one homework question. ठीक है? तो उससे पहले मैं होमवर्क क्वेश्चन की ओर बढ़ूँ, हमारे पास सीडीएस ओटी एग्जाम ऑनलाइन कोर्स 2022 भी अवेलेबल है. तो अगर आप सीडीएस ओटी एस्पिरेंट है और सीडीएस 2 2022 या फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर सीडीएस एग्जाम के लिए तैयारी करना चाहते हैं तो इस कोर्स पे आप एनरोल हो सकते हैं बाय डाउनलोडिंग आवर SSBCrack Exams from the Google Play Store. So now it's time for you to start taking screenshots for your homework passage and questions. So here it is. Everyone, take a screenshot quickly. I'll not give you much time, guys. So you have to be a bit fast. Okay, and this is the second page of the passage. Second page of the passage. Take a screenshot. Okay, taken. Now I'll give you questions. So this is the first question. Take a screenshot. First question. This is the second question. Second question. Okay. This is the third one. Third question. Take a screenshot, guys. Fast. Fourth question. Fifth question. Take a screenshot. Fifth question. Do not give me answers of these homework questions here, even if you know. Please solve them after the class. Sixth question. So this passage will have 10 questions, okay? This is the number 6 question. Question number 6. Okay, question number 7. Take a screenshot. Question number 7 here. Question number 8. Question number 8. Take a screenshot. Question number 9 here on the screen. Take a screenshot. Question number 9. And question number 10. Last question for your homework. Everybody please solve these questions. इस होमवर्क क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स आपको पीडीएफ मटेरियल में मिल जाएगा. तो मैं आपको दिखा देती हूँ कैसे आपको पीडीएफ मटेरियल मिलेगा. आपको सीडीएस या फिर सीडीएस ओटी एग्जाम ऑनलाइन कोर्स 2022 में एनरोल करना पड़ेगा. उसमें आपको एक सेक्शन मिलेगा सीडीएस 1 2022 लाइव क्लास एंड आंसर की के नाम से. उसमें आज के क्लास का पीडीएफ मटेरियल मैं अभी कुछ मिनटों में अपलोड करूंगी. वहां से आपको पीडीएफ डाउनलोड करना है. उसमें सारे पैसेजेस और क्वेश्चंस जो हमने आज प्रैक्टिस किए क्लास में वो आपको मिल जाएगा. और लास्ट में आपको ये पैसेज का भी 10 क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स मिल जाएंगे जहां से आप अपने आंसर्स चेकआउट कर सकते हैं. Last but not the least is your SSB interview online course which you need to get yourself enrolled to after taking your CDS 1 2022 exam and start preparing for your SSB interview which is the next thing to crack. Okay. Also guys, हमारे पास ये टेस्ट सीरीज भी है, तो अगर आपने मॉक टेस्ट अभी तक प्रैक्टिस स्टार्ट नहीं किए है, प्लीज स्टार्ट कर दीजिए। सीडीएस और सीडीएस ओटीए के लिए अलग अलग से टेस्ट सीरीज अवेलेबल है, सो एज पर योर एग्जाम यू कैन गेट योरसेल्फ एनरोल्ड इनटू इट and use the code warrior10 to get an extra 10% off on all courses. So that was it from my side guys. I hope कि आज का सेशन यूजफुल रहा है और आपको बहुत हेल्प हुआ है, आपने प्रैक्टिस भी बहुत सारे कर लिया है। तो अगर आपको सेशन अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज लाइक कर दीजिए और शेयर भी कर दीजिए इस सेशन को। एंड मैं आपसे मिलती हूँ कल फिर से 11 बजे 11 AM फॉर CDS 1 2022 लाइव क्लास, और आज मैं शाम को आपको मिलूंगी फॉर NDA 1 2022 लाइव क्लास at around 5 PM in the evening. Okay, so this is a very small thing that you need to do, practice, okay, and please work hard, work smart, because the exam is just around the corner. But do not feel nervous, we are here for your help. Practice and work hard for it and you will definitely achieve your goal. So now the time is for you to attend Prashant sir's maths class, which is going to come up next. Till then everyone, stay happy, stay positive, and always